Welcome back live with the cars taking to the grid at Brno, round 14 of the World Touring Car Championship, the second race here at this circuit in the Czech Republic. The forested roller coaster that is Brno already produced great excitement in race one, and a birthday present win for Germany's Jörg Müller from the front row of the grid. The BMW driver claimed victory. Andy Priaulx there coming through the field, as you can see most of the other cars. So you can see the two Maurer Motorsport Chevrolets, the blue and yellow cars. First time we've seen them on screen this weekend. And between them the Toyota of young Philipp Geipel from the German series. Well, a lot of talk about the drivers, a lot about the manufacturers, but what about the link that puts them together? Let's take a look at the keys, the team managers. On the left, Bart Mampai runs Andy Priaulx, and now on the left, now on the right, now on the left, Hugues de Schonag, who runs the Oreca team, running two factory Seats.
I have to organize and sometimes make some adjustments. Speak with Andy during the practice and during the races, but not on the technical information. It's more about the strategy. So it's quite a busy job. There's quite a lot of decisions which need to be taken very often in a very quick time.
The Dutchman and the Guernseyman won the European title and the Whittle in consecutive years.
From a professional point of view, he's so switched on. He's a step ahead of everybody I've been with. He has a great team around him as well, which is very important to have.
Hugues de Schonag set up the Oreca operation in 1973. He's done racing, rallying, touring cars, single-seaters, just about everything with great success. And now, World Touring Cars, his latest challenge with two Seats. Well, my job is to make a note of what's going on and to keep things logged away in my mind. I don't actually talk too much to the team during the weekend. I just let them get on with it. They've got their jobs. They're all very focused. My job is really coordination, to have a wide overview and to be able to sit down in a debriefing on a Monday and talk them through what went right and what went wrong. De Schonag and Müller have worked together since 1994, and Ivan says he's still got the same passion, the same motivation. He always wants to push the limits. Today he still has things that he wants to do, wants to learn, wants to achieve. He just works so hard, and the staff work hard with him. Well, what really makes them happy, of course, is wins like in Brands Hatch. Says, well, as well as my passion, I try and give my team, the drivers and everyone else, grit and a determination, a thirst for victory. And I think that's the secret to the Oreca team. And Bart Mampai, well, what about the end of the race weekend?
When on the Sunday night you can go home and you said, whatever the result, we did everything we could to be as good as we can be, to have the best possible result, then you have to be happy.
And with both their charges, or in fact all three of them in the run for the championship, they're very busy men. RBM's charge, Andy Priaulx. And the two Oreca Seat drivers, James Thompson and Ivan Müller, very much in the championship battle at the moment. And Andy Priaulx, finishing 5th in the first race, will start in 3rd position for race 2 of the World Touring Car Championship. A lot of friends and family here at Brno. I guess they probably came in from Vienna. That'll be the nearest major airport. It's actually closer than Prague is, the capital. Aluminium. No points scored since his victory at Brands Hatch before this race weekend, and so that's a very important reappearance of form for Aluminium. It's been really a pretty tough time this year in terms of bad luck, accidents and everything else for the Chevrolet team. It's not that they haven't been as far off the pace as they had in previous seasons, David, but luck has really not been their friend.
No, it hasn't. They've been involved in all sorts of incidents. We've seen Aluminium, one of the flyaway races, hit the wall quite hard, and then Rob Hoff at the last race meeting having hit the concrete wall and do a lot of damage. So yes, they've had a lot of bad luck, a lot of damage done to their cars, but they have been quick. They've always been coming from the back, struggled a bit in qualifying, would sort themselves out in the race, would start to come through a little bit, and then always just missed the points by one or something like that. But this weekend they've been able to sort of capitalise on what they've learned since then. They've been out testing, I know they have, and they've had to build a new car for Rob because of his accident previously, and that's obviously all paid off. And I think Eric Neve at Chevrolet must be very happy indeed to see a Chevrolet front row, and have to see the two blue cars look very purposeful there, and I would think it's going to be quite difficult to get past them. You've got the wise head and the older head of Aluminium there saying, well, I know how to keep everybody back anyway, and you've got the young head of Rob Huff there says that, well, I'm not going to keep them back, I'm just going to disappear.
Yeah, Rob Huff will be going, right, you get behind me and keep them back. I'm off to win this race, definitely. I think it's going to be very tough for Rob Huff to try and cleanly get inside Aluminium at the first corner, particularly given the fact that they're going to have Andy Prio coming from third spot on the grid behind them. So it's going to be very difficult. I think it's going to have to be every man for himself, certainly, between the Chevrolet drivers. Now, Seat have decided that this is the year they want to win a title in the World Touring Car Championship. Manufacturers or drivers or both, but something for their time, their effort and their experience. So they have 6 factory drivers, the strongest team in numbers in the series. But with 6 drivers come 6 egos and 6 potential champions. So how do you decide between them? And when do you make the choice as to who might be a contender and who won't? Well, it's Jaime Puig, the team sporting director, that has that. He says, of course, no team orders are allowed in motorsport. A driver can't help another one, but it's going to be difficult, really. You know, James Thompson this weekend, a long way away in qualifying, but he was the points leader coming here. At the moment, we're trying to focus on the fight for both titles. If Tomo's not at the front, we've got Gabriele Tarquini, we've got Rydell. Certainly these 3 drivers have got a very strong chance of winning the title, but we have to see after Brno how they fare. And does that mean that Peter Turting, for instance, is now relegated to a purely support role? Well, of course, I'm in 8th in the points. Thompson, if he's in 9th, then I'll let him go by and claim the point. What about Jordi Genet? He won in Brazil, but he was the least well-placed of the Seat drivers coming here. Is it now his job to be in a support role? We're going to Mexico. I really thought I could still fight for the world title. Now I think maybe that's over and I have to focus more on the team. I have to take points for the manufacturers. If I can win races, of course I will, but my job is to help them win the manufacturers title. And what about Ricard Rydell? Well, he didn't have a great start here, did he? That might have torpedoed his hopes. Of course, I hope there'll be team orders to ask Ivan to let me through if he's ahead of me, but there's no decisions yet. And Ivan Muller, well, he was under the gun coming here, but a very successful first race where he was 3rd means that he might be back in the frame once more. Questions, questions, questions. Jaime Puig there with Eduardo Freitas, the man who is responsible for running these races. And he may well be having the, what on earth were you thinking of? Is a door wide open on a car on row 3 of the grid not enough indication that you do need to delay the start for you? And Eduardo going, oh, well, it wasn't on my side. Alex Zanardi then, first podium finish of the year in Curitiba, and on the podium again here next race weekend out. He is getting closer and closer to the front of the field as the season progresses, and of course 2nd position here means he starts from the 4th row of the grid, and our birthday boy, our race winner Jörg Muller, starts in 8th position. And right behind him, 9th place, was Dirk Muller. So we'll see the 2 Schnitzer BMWs, I'm sure, David, trying to hack their way through the tight wad of Seats in front of them.
I think that really will happen at the very beginning. They do make good starts, and they will get off the line. And, you know, we're like we said before, with Prio being on the 2nd row, we're expecting him to be first, if not 2nd, into the first corner. And I think he'll pick off one of the 2 Chevrolets before he gets into there. But right behind, we've got Ivan Muller, and then behind that Jörg Muller. So maybe Jörg can get past Ivan with his Seat before he gets to the first corner and pick a place up there. So they're not going to have it all their own way, the front-wheel drive guys. The rear-wheel drive BMWs very much are going to be in the mix the same as they were in the first race. They came away with first and second. I think they might end up with a possibility of first and second again.
Well, Jimmy Thompson had the championship lead coming here, 20th on the grid. He managed to haul his extra ballast up to 14th position. Not his extra ballast, you understand, it's in the car, not around the married waistline. There is Nicola Larini. He's a little further back in 11th place, but we do have an all-Seat front row with Rob Huff and Alan Menu. Ready to wave them away, Eduardo Freitas at the front of the grid with the green flag. Ready for race 14 of the series after this quick word from our sponsors. Stay with us as we return live to the action at Brno. Brno in the Czech Republic, the venue for rounds 13 and 14. The 7th race weekend of 10 in the 2006 World Touring Car Championship. And for race 2 of the weekend, it's an all Chevrolet front row with Alan Menu and Rob Huff leading the field around, ready for the start of the second race. Well, this 5-kilometre Brno roller coaster through the forests, up and down the hillsides of the Czech Republic has provided some great racing in the past, and race 1 here again, no exception to that rule. It's a phenomenal motorcycle circuit. It's also a fantastic road car, race car track as well. Martin Haven and David Leslie with the action here, live as ever on Eurosport. And David, again, we'll be looking for the BMWs with their rear-wheel drive to launch faster off the line. And we just saw the onboard pictures of our race winner from round 1, Jörg Müller. There's Ivan Müller in his Seat, who will start a row in front of him, and undoubtedly is likely to be one of Jörg's first targets.
I think he is, and that's Larini there inside the Chevrolet. They've got quite a number of cameras in cars this weekend. There's quite more than we usually have, so we get all sorts of different angles to see from, out of the car, inside the car, out the back of the car. So as the race progresses, and hopefully we'll see quite a variety of those.
10 different onboard cameras in our 26 car field, and the Chevrolet team will be glued to the monitors for this one. Hello, boys. Chevrolet's front and centre, first and second on the grid. Rob Huff and Alan Menu. Nicola Larini will start back in 11th position, but it is Huff and Menu who will start round 14 of the championship from the front row, an all Chevrolet front row. Mark Busfield, Ray Mallock and the rest. Come on, boys, you've only been away from home for 3 days this time. Stop mugging up for the cameras. Nervous times for them. How long can the Blue Machine stay out front? Can they win from the front row of the grid in the dry? That would be a remarkable achievement for them here. Revs rise. 5 lights on. Away we go, another very short hold, and here come the BMWs, and I think the start caught the Chevy drivers just a fraction by surprise. Rob Huff with Andy Priaulx right behind him. Priaulx coming out wide. Look at Jörg Müller looking inside of Tom Coronel. No, yes. He can't quite get through, so Nardi gets a little bobble wide as Müller has to find some room, and Ivan Müller bobbled into the BMW with Jörg Müller. That is Tom Coronel right in front. First lap action. Rushing down towards the plunge down into the valley here, down into this third gear left-hander. Here comes Jörg on the brakes, And Andy Priaulx between the two Chevrolets. Jörg Muller's up to 4th already from 8th on the grid. David, a great start from the Germans. Really looking very aggressive here as we ride behind him.
Yeah, Jörg Muller, you know, he's in that one race. It was his birthday. He's feeling on top of the world. He really is capitalising on what happened in the first race. As you say, he's up into 4th place. He's got the See It hassling him at the moment. Tom Cornell in the orange one just behind there. But, you know, Jörg's going to be very confident with what he's doing there. He's keeping the car in front there. You see the car 42 sliding about a bit there, a little bit more than I would expect, certainly at this early start of the race. But the Chevrolets got away fairly well. Rob Hoff did make that jump at the start and got ahead of his teammate, but Andy Priaulx split the two of them, and now we see again looking at his car, and still it's doing a bit of sliding, and right behind them is Yvan Muller. That's what we're looking at with the
Looking back at him now, that's right. Yvan Muller giving us a great show of just how much the BMW is moving around, and that you might expect from a front-wheel drive car on the first lap, not a rear-wheel drive. Ryan Sharp into James Thompson, no. Yes, but Peter Terting it was. Ryan Sharp got around him, so Terting picks Ryan Sharp rather picks up 2 places, getting ahead of Nicola Larini and Peter Terting. Great stuff from the Scot. Clearly lunch went well then. Rob Huff still leads lap 1 of 10. Andy Priaulx second, and Alain Menu looking pretty punchy behind him, trying to get by the Guernseyman, the Swiss driver.
He's really pushing hard on Andy. I think everyone was expecting that the BMW would simply pull away, but it isn't going anywhere. It's really sandwiched in between those two Chevrolets, and there you see it. And 3rd place is Jörg, Yvan Muller, Tom Cornell, and then all hidden in behind each other.
Yeah, great long queue of cars slipstreaming along this straight. It's Huff, it's Priaulx, it's Menu, it's Jörg Muller, it's Yvan Muller, your top 5, and that is where our race is going to be. Tom Cornell in 6th. I'm sure that's Dirk Muller in 7th. It is, and in 8th place then will be, oh no, Zanardi in 7th then. Yeah, Zanardi in 7th. 8th is Genet. 9th still Dirk Muller. Just can't make any headway, Jörg Muller. There he is. He's the 2nd of the BMWs. That's Alex Zanardi. Well, the 2nd in that shot. He's the 3rd of the BMWs. 4th, in fact, of course, because we've got Priaulx, Jörg, then Zanardi, then Dirk Muller. Looking back from Andy Priaulx's car, you can see Alain Menu. Closing in under braking, of course, Menu with no success ballast, but Priaulx with some 60 kilos on board.
And that was a 2-team engine. Yep. Bert Mampire for the BMW and Mark Busfield for the Chevrolet team.
Priaulx in the middle then as we see the start in replay, and Menu did not get away quite as sharply as Rob Huff. There was 3 or 4 car lengths between them, and that allowed Priaulx, watch him as he sweeps around, to come in front of Alain Menu. And then the Muller and Zanardi with Yvan Muller in the middle. That's the sandwich. Jörg, well, if Coronel had gone for the middle road, Jörg would have been through into 3rd place at the first corner. Riding on board, here we go. That's Yvan Muller. We get by him. Coronel comes right across, and he's looking at the inside line of Menu, and also, of course, in coincidence, he is defending. This is with Yvan Muller, and Jörg Muller will squeeze up alongside us in a moment. Eat my dust, it says on the back of Tom Coronel's car. He's feeling mighty cocky with himself this season. He's really got, in the Independence Holland car, Independence Trophy car, a real front runner in any terms. So having a very, very good time indeed. Now look at this. Menu being pushed very hard by Jörg Muller. He's actually being pushed up the hill by Jörg Muller there. He was literally the back bumper of the Chevrolet being pushed along by the BMW. But Menu just getting enough of a boost onto the straight. Will Muller get a tow? Let's have a look at the end of it. He's staying out to the driver's left so he can cut to the inside. And you can go very deep inside here. It's a long, long corner. Ryan Sharp still defending against Peter Terting. Oh, and Stefano Daste around the outside of him. And Jörg Muller did get through. And back against him now as they come up to the left-hander comes Alain Menu. Menu's got the line. He's inside. Can he hold him under braking? We heard from Zanardi and Muller after race 1 that Jörg's car isn't the greatest under braking there. And Menu gets back. Now it goes right again. If Menu can just stay in front of Jörg, Jörg might be able to outbrake him down at the bottom of the hill. But Muller's pulling it out to, well, to try and make sure that Yvan Muller can't come inside him.
What happened there is Muller with the BMW had to go down an extra gear behind Menu, and that really did hurt him. So when he knew he was coming out slowly, that's why he moved across in order to block Van Muller with the Seat, who was right behind. So Jürgen Muller there really did struggle, having to go down that extra gear, and did lose a little bit of time. You could actually hear from inside the car the extra gear chains that went in there. He shouldn't have gone down there, but obviously had to slow down a little bit, couldn't get the run that he wanted to try and get past Menu at the time.
This is 2004 all over again, except in 2004 it wasn't a Chevrolet out front, it was a Seat Toledo. Frank Diefenbacher started from 8th in race 1, on pole for race 2, and held off the BMWs nearly to the end of the race. Can Rob Huff go one better? Alex Zanardi dives inside the Seat. Little late move there from Zanardi, trying to squeeze by, that's trying to get back past Jordi Genet.
Tom Cornell, was it Tom Cornell?
No, this isn't, oh, in fact, is that Van Muller's camera? Was that Cornell doesn't have a camera? So this must be Van Muller then. So that's a big move up then for Zanardi. Yes, it is, because that is Jürgen Muller in front. It was Ivan Muller. He got by Coronel, and that dive down the inside wasn't to fight off Genet, who's still behind Coronel with Dirk Muller behind him. It was to move up, so Alex is on the charge as well now. Jürgen Muller looking inside Menu. Here we go again. Lap 4. We tried this on lap 3. This time Menu keeps the door a little less ajar. But something that our Formula 3000 Masters couldn't manage yesterday is to run alongside each other through these corners. It is very possible in the touring cars. If you get a good run on somebody, you can always have 2 or 3 corners to try and sort out the move. Last time down the hill here, Jürgen Muller just lost out to Alain Menu. He's not in a position to attack at the moment, but at the bottom of the hill he might be. There is Zanardi as we ride with Ivan Muller in 6th. And still, Prio not able to put in a move on Rob Huff. This is great from Huffy. 2:13.8 his best lap, 2:14.0 Prio's best lap. So he's 0.12 of a second faster on his best lap than Andy Prio's been able to manage. But will the BMW manage its tyres better? Can the RBM crew get more life out of their rubber at the end of the race than the RML crew? That's what we'll have to see. Menu is doing a great job, though, fighting to hang on to make it 2 Chevys on the podium ahead of the race 1 winner, who, you know, let's face it, should be able to get by him.
That's right, the race 1 winner, as we said earlier on, really is on top of his game this weekend. He's been fast through all the practice sessions and the qualifying. He's been right there. He won the first race. He's full of confidence, and he's got his blue car in front of him, which he's simply not used to. Remember, this is only the 2nd year for these Chevrolets, the RML run cars, and you know, they really have come on leaps and bounds this year. Struggled a lot the first year, had 1 podium and that was all, but had a win already this year, and there's Dirk Muller past Tom Cornell. So Tom's slowly disappearing back, and right behind him now is another of the Chevrolets, the 3rd one, which is Larini, and they're down in 9th and 10th place.
Yeah, so Larini will probably get past Coronel as well, as Jürgen Muller makes an inside move on Menu in turns 11, oh, in 13. Well, that's not normally an overtaking position. You can see the broken steering arm, I think. Or was he just bubbling across some bumps? There was a big metallic sounding clash into the pits. Yeah, I think he's got broken steering the way the car was threatening pitching its way around the corner. Menu is out. Jürgen Muller is in 3rd, but I imagine that might attract a penalty. Huff across the line 1st, Prio 2nd, Zanardi 3rd. Jürgen dropped to 5th after that clash, and Menu came across the line in 4th place, but of course he's gone straight into the pits. Let's have a look again on board. Let's have a listen. It's a pretty substantial thump in the backside.
That was him pushed into the pit inroad, and he tried to go across the grass, and it did look as though the wheel was wobbling a bit. This is what happened. He came up the inside, and ooh, there they go. That's a big thump, and that was even all the cones went for a Burton with Muller as he went through there with the BMW. Look at them, we just flattened them one after the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks as though the left-hand front wheel is not going quite where Menu wants it to go. They've taken it off, having a look inside. We thought they were going to put it on because of a puncture. No, I've got a funny feeling there's something else broken inside there.
Yeah, broken steering arm. It was the way it was squaring off the corner to try and come in. I think that's very likely.
But so Zanardi back up into 3rd place.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's great for him. You got Ivan Muller next with a Seat.
So it's still Rob Huff leading at mid-distance, and Andy Prio can't get close enough to make a move on the Chevy. slower, but this is Jordi Genet battling with Dirk Muller, hanging on for 6th and 7th. Genet, big slide there in the first corner. Well, not quite power steering the car off the corner because it's a front-wheel drive car, but sliding it off the corner. Rob Huff still leading, and Andy Priaulx dropping back.
That's really quite a surprise, because we all expected Andy Priaulx really to be right on top of Rob Huff, giving him such a hard time and trying to hassle the back of him into a mistake so he could try and get past him. He's not very far away, don't get me wrong. Rob's not running away with it. He's having to work extremely hard inside that car, that Chevrolet, to keep it in front. But Andy Priaulx, second place, would be good points. He's already in the lead of the championship, so to hang on now would be good. But that's the Chevrolet boys. They're all looking at each other, wondering what's going on. I'm sure they've got the message in what's happened to Alan Menu's car, so that's now forgotten about, and they'll be concentrating purely on this car at the front. And Larini, don't forget, isn't that far away. He's now up to 9th place. If he can get one more position, he's in a point scoring position as well.
Well, Priaulx staying with our race leader at the moment, 1st and 2nd for the Englishman and the Guernseyman. Alex Zanardi in 3rd again, as he was in race 1. There's Alan Menu cars being pushed away, and Menu's car being pushed away into the garage. Ivan Muller 4th, Jörg Muller 5th, and potentially, I suppose, you might worry a little that there's a legacy of that clash with Alan Menu for Jörg Muller. His car might yet develop a problem, but he's right behind Ivan Muller as they come across the line in that first Seat BMW chase. The second is Genet versus Dirk Muller, and Dirk again can't get by, and that is Larini into the points. 8th place as he goes by Tom Coronel again, starting well up on the grid as he does pretty much every race, and then really not contesting the positions too strongly against the guys who are effectively in a different class for him, in a different race. It's all about the Independence Trophy for him and for Seat Holland, and he's not going to risk being knocked off by somebody or having a clash with somebody and giving away points there when he can let them go and still take maximum points.
His championship's all about the Independence Championship. He's great to be, he loves being up there because he gets a lot of good television coverage, and there's Alan Menu having a word with the engineer and saying exactly what happened. Well, we see it on the TV, we know what happened there, but as you say, Cornell going for the independence, who gets good TV, starting up front. He can afford to let the works guys fight it out and just back off a little bit in order to keep his first place in the independence, and he's quite a good bit ahead. The Asta is the second of the independence, third is Ryan Sharp with the Honda Accord, so he's still got a good lead in that independence race here, and the independent championship as a whole. He's got a very, very big comfortable lead indeed.
Well, not with a comfortable lead, but still with a lead after 7 laps is Rob Huff, or on lap 7. Let's see in another couple exactly what tyre life he's got left, because he must be he's been looking very smooth though, and he hasn't had to be really backing it into any of the corners or throwing it at apexes to keep his line. He's just kept his line really neatly, as if it's just qualifying lap after qualifying lap. And this time, I think for the first time all race, I'm right in saying, Priaulx is actually quicker than Rob Huff. 2:14.9 to 2:15.4 on the last lap, so Andy closing, getting on for over half a second on the race leader. Alex Zanardi still in 3rd, and he's with Rob Huff and Andy Priaulx being the only man into the 2:14 so far, but still fastest lap of the race is with Rob Huff, 2:13.809. In 2:13.910, Jörg Muller, second quickest man so far in the entire race, and Muller down in 5th position with a bit more ground to make up still.
But Rob's really just driving nice and neatly, as you say. He's not throwing it around, he's trying to keep the car tidy, looking after the tyre. That's a major thing to do in these races. Although they're fairly short, they're only 10 laps long, it is a fair distance round. They really have to look after tyres, especially the front wheel drive, to make the best out of them towards the end of the race.
Lap 8 of 10, Rob Huff still leading for Chevrolet from Andy Priaulx, and if the move comes, it's going to have to be late from Priaulx. Jörg Muller tucked in behind namesake Ivan in the Seat, has a think, can't get through. Alex Zanardi just in front of that battle in 3rd, riding with Jörg Muller in the Schnitzer run, BMW Team Deutschland car. Okay, really buzzing in high revs as he has to snatch a slightly lower gear there. It's perhaps still a slight disadvantage with the 5-speed gearbox in the rear drive BMWs compared to the 6-speed sequentials that everybody else is using, is that there's more of a chance of you not having the optimum gear set up for maybe 1 or 2 corners on the track. Zanardi towing along Ivan and Jörg Müller here. They're both just closing on him a little bit. But Alex seems to be the one who's, as I say, under least pressure. He locks up there, and that little squeal and telltale acrid puff of smoke will be, again, indication for Jörg Müller that he needs to press on, not just to stay in touch with Ivan Müller, but also maybe to try and get back up to 3rd place, which is what he was looking for when he had that clash with Alain Menu.
But in 3rd place at the moment is the man we're looking at, and that's Alex Zanardi. And remember, you know, he managed 2nd in the first race. James Thompson is out. We don't know why. We didn't see what happened there. He's standing in the pit lane with his engineers looking at the timing screens. So not sure what happened to him. Maybe some sort of problem. Maybe a recurrence of the power steering pump failure he had in warm-up this morning. I've got no idea whatsoever. We just haven't seen what happened to him. He looking obviously very hot and bothered, having just got out of the car. But here's this battle now. Zanardi up front with Ivan Müller and Jörg Müller right behind. So these guys, look how close that is, and that camera is not on the bumper. I think a lot of these cameras in front of the car
inside, yeah, so it doesn't get thumped.
Sitting just on the roof, right on the roof panel. And then we're looking at some of the other cars. That's why you can see right on the roof panel, looking down across the windscreen. Yeah. And you can see just how close the cars are actually getting. You know, these guys can run 100 miles an hour with less than a foot between each other, and sometimes less than a couple of inches. Yeah. They do actually end up just rubbing bumpers and touching. Rubbing is fine. Actually hitting somebody whereby they lose control of the car isn't fine at all. People do get very upset about that. But Ivan's now got the headlights on. He's decided that he's going to try and annoy Zanardi with some headlights. Yeah. One of the tricks that the drivers have, you just switch the headlights on and it just takes the concentration away from the guy in front. He's looking in his mirrors and thinking, well, why is the headlights on? But there you can see car 42 in Jörg's car, the right-hand front side got a big dent in it. That's what he had it coming together with Alain Menu at the last corner, that last chicane before the start and finish.
Noticeably though, the mark is the back of the front wheel arch, so he didn't come charging in from behind and punt him out. As we said, it was definitely side by side. Now, Andy Prio, let's not forget Oschersleben last year. Alex Zanardi leading the race, heading towards what turned out to be perhaps the most poignant moment of the season when he claimed his first win since his near fatal accident. But in the last corner on the last lap, Prio still tried to pass him for the win. Prio's not going to be sentimental about Rob Huff either. If the win's there, he's going to go for it. So Huff can't take anything for granted. Meanwhile, Ivan Müller darn near got alongside Zanardi enough to make the move, didn't he? Just
and he is.
Held him off.
He's pushing both sides. Either side is trying whichever way he can. Zanardi now very much driving a defensive line. You can see him there, the difference in the two lines. Now, Ivan should have a better exit out of here, and then he can get himself up beside and past Zanardi into that first corner. They've gone to the inside. Zanardi's seen he's got the better line. He's covering it. He's gone down the inside. Now they're right on the right-hand side of that circuit. He should have been touched.
Now then, Ivan Müller and Alex Zanardi clashed in Brazil, in Mexico rather, and Zanardi is under a 5-point grid drop, potential suspended penalty. Ivan Müller got away from that one scot-free, but they clashed as well at Oschersleben. There's history between these two. It was almost inevitable as soon as we saw Alex move slightly away from the inside and towards the racing line that Ivan would have a lunge. And David, that was a lunge. That was very deep and very late inside, and he did not do enough to avoid Alex Zanardi.
And immediately he got there, he just cut the nose off Müller immediately afterwards with the BMW in order to try and keep him behind.
Which says to me he could have gone in tighter inside Zanardi, because he certainly turned tight enough when he wanted to.
That's right, he was able to turn the car right in the middle of the corner. But this is the last lap now, and you've still got Rob Huff in the lead. There's the Chevrolet boys.
They're checking everything. Make sure everything I've got is crossed, just in case. I tell you what, this is going to be a huge afternoon for the Chevrolet team if Rob Huff can hold this together. And the man who has had the bad luck magnets attached in every single corner of the car. Obviously, when he had that huge wreck in Mexico that looked so dramatic, he knocked all the bad luck magnets out, it would seem. And he is just 4 corners away now from a momentous first FIA win for Chevrolet in the World Touring Car Championship.
Chevrolet did
for himself, yes, I beg your pardon.
In the wet for Alemenu.
In the dry, then, I'll add to that. You can stop texting in and stop writing on the forums now. You're right, of course, after menu. But this will be a very important day for Rob Huff. His hastily or well rebuilt new car is just a couple of corners away now, and Priaulx second place or first, or second place or crash, I know which he'd go for. Rob Huff is going to take his first win for Chevrolet by inches from Andy Priaulx. Priaulx continues to lead the championship, and Ivan Muller just holds off Jörg for 3rd position. However, I wouldn't be 100% surprised if something happens after the race regarding that accident going on to the last lap. Ivan Muller ahead of Alex Zanardi. But for the moment there, Mark Busfield in the headset, looking very happy, as well he should do. Win number 2 of the season then for Chevrolet. 14 races in, they have now twice. Oh, Zanardi is going across the gravel because he wants to shake his fist and show his displeasure at Ivan Muller, I think. He could sit there and wait for the tow truck, but he's getting assistance across. So a lot of Chevrolet fans in the crowd, a lot of Chevrolet guests at the circuit. And the Huff family, well, talk about highs and lows, David. The sickening moments of his huge accident in Mexico last time out, and the worry that when he was airlifted off to hospital, exactly how badly hurt he was. In the end, it turned out it had rung his bell and nothing worse. And now here, the next race weekend, he takes his first World Touring Car. Well done, Rob Huff and Chevrolet. Welcome back live to Brno in the Czech Republic. If it's not beforehand, this is soon going to be one of Rob Huff's favourite racetracks. He wins his first World Touring Car Championship event here. Round 2 of the weekend goes to Chevrolet and to Rob Huff. Chevrolet's first dry win. And of course, the next milestone is their first pole position race 1 win. Race 2 win and a wet race win for Alemenu. Both very hard fought by the Chevrolet team, and the fact that it's from pole position in race 2, nobody gives a monkeys, because it's still a race win. Great stuff for Rob Huff, for Mark Busfield, for Ray Mallock, for Eric Nev, for all the boys from Chevrolet Europe and for RML. This is a big achievement for them again. And with so many of the family there as well this weekend, what a time to do it.
And it's great. And it's absolutely great to come back from such a bad weekend last time out, when he had into that wall and had to be airlifted off to hospital, to come back and win at the very next meeting. You can see all the Chevrolet boys, the whole team there, his engineer, everyone.
And Alemenu as well, yes.
Who didn't finish that race, congratulate him. Andy Priaulx as well, saying well done, and great for Andy, because that puts him now a few more points into lead of the championship.
Well, yes, it does. A big weekend for Priaulx. Now, this is the first time in 3 visits that Priaulx hasn't won a race here. He and Dirk Muller both won races the last 2 times, 2003, 2004, that we were here with the European Touring Car Championship. And Ivan Muller, well, he's looking fairly happy. Wouldn't want to be bumping into Alex Zanardi at the airport, though, if I were him. But Rob Huff, yeah, just touched on it earlier, the highs and the lows of motor racing, the lows of Mexico replaced by the highs. Is that tear in his eye? Sentimental old sausage of Brno as well. And the Independence Trophy goes to Stefano D'Aste. Now that, I think, is a first. Tom Coronel retiring 2 laps from home. We didn't see that. Stefano D'Aste wins. Luca Rangoni, his teammate, 2nd position. And the 3rd in the Independence was Pierre-Yves Courtals ahead of Ryan Sharp. So not quite sure what happened to Ryan Sharp's car. In fact, he was 5th because Vincent Rademacher came home 3rd in the Independence Trophy. in the Mara Motorsport Chevrolet.
But a number of incidents throughout the race, and you can see them here at different points. Ivan Muller having Zanardi off, and then also coming together between Menu and Muller earlier on. So incidents apiece.
Well, I think, judging by Menu's demeanour, I would have suggested that he probably thought that was a racing incident. He certainly wasn't going looking for Jörg, which he could easily have been doing. He was much more interested in going to congratulate Rob Huff. And well, I don't know. I'm not sure that Gabriele Tarquini is going to be quite so relaxed if he bumps into Ivan Muller at the moment. But Rob Huff wins his first World Touring Car race. Andy Prio, second position. And important points again. 5th and 2nd again, scoring very solidly, Prio. There you can see our top independents, Stefano D'Asti and Luca Rangoni. And the last point going to Peter Terting ahead of Duncan Heisman. But let's hear now from our happy podium men.
Rob Huff, look at that smile on your face. Your first victory in the World Touring Car Championship. What a day for you.
Unbelievable. Just fantastic, you know. After the obviously downside to Mexico and we carried away in a helicopter, we come here, we qualify 4th. But unfortunate was we get put to the back of the grid, and then well, what an effort by the boys. They've real bit me a car in a week, and yeah, this one's for them. It's fantastic. My first win, and I think it's been a while coming, but you know, fantastic effort by everyone in the team.
Did you imagine a victory after what happened in Puebla? Good start anyway today.
I couldn't imagine a win after this morning, having to start 24th, to be honest with you. So to come back through to 8th in the first race, and just to get a clean start in the second race, and held Andy off. You know, there was no real sort of, didn't have to defend from him at all. But yeah, fantastic effort by Team Chevrolet and RML. Brilliant job.
Thanks a lot and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
24th to 8th in race 1 was perhaps the bigger achievement, but pole to win with fastest lap of the race. Rob Huff dominated race 2 in Brno, no question about it. Congratulations to the Brit on his first World Touring Car Championship win, and a second win in the series for Chevrolet. Their stated intention this season was to try and win one. Well, they've done it twice now.
Andy Prio, that's what you call a smart weekend, especially for the overall standings of the World Championship.
I'm delighted. Never expected so much with 60 kilos. It's a brilliant result, but the team have really worked hard the last 2 or 3 weeks, have done a great job, and BMW have given me the goods, so thanks to them, because it's a team effort.
A rather good start. You slid in between the two Chevrolets. Were you happy with second position? Did you go for victory? What exactly happened? What went through your mind?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Rob, because he drove brilliantly, and it's great for Chevrolet, and fair and square fight. But I have to think of the championship now. I know it's very boring, but the beginning of the season I won 4 races, and it didn't help me because I had so much weight. And now I need to consistently finish and take good points. And 60 kilos here is the best result for me to get a podium and good, lots of points for the championship, 9 points ahead.
Andy, to be honest, it really looked easy this weekend for you.
It looks like that, but you know, if you work hard, you make your own luck. And we worked very, very hard. We planned the whole weekend, and I think the car was good. And you know, there was a lot of hard work off track.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thanks. Cheers.
David, you just come up with an interesting stat about Prio.
He's just managed to not win a race this weekend, but scored more points today than he has at any other meeting this year. Earlier on this year, yes, he'd won 4 races, but in the other race, he either scored no points or 1 point, making a total of 11 points for the day. 12 points today already.
Yvan Muller again on the podium after the first race. It's a very, very good move for the World Championship.
Yeah, I don't know if I come back at the championship, but for sure it was important for me to do a good result this weekend, because okay, I made 2 mistakes in South America, and now I can't have any more joker, so I have to be good until the end of the season.
Yvan, what exactly happened with Alex Zanardi in the last laps of the race?
Unfortunately, the contact was with him. He was at the beginning of the race, he was a bit quicker than me, so he overtook me and didn't insist at all. I let him pass, and end of the race it was the inverse. He was slower than me, and he closed the door end of the straight, but not enough. He left me a place to put my car on his right side, and he braked a bit too early. So I was side by side, we were parallel, but at one stage he had to turn, and when he turned we had a contact and he spun.
Not the first time you have incidents with Alex. What are you expecting now?
You know, we have to see, to watch the image, but I think it's clear his race is incident. We are parallel. It's not if I touch him in the door, we are parallel before the contact, and he come on me, not the inverse.
Well, thank you very much. Great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the heads side of that coin. The tails side, of course, would be Alex Zanardi's explanation. But Ivan Muller, no doubt, has relaunched himself back into the championship. Joint fourth position, one behind Augusto Farfus. But this move might undo that hard work. Parallel? Well, yes, as in they were both heading in a straight line in the same direction. Alongside, well, I think perhaps you could say there was an overlap. That's his bumper, or the front edge of his windscreen, in fact, but I wouldn't exactly like to say that he'd won the corner at that stage, David.
No, you can see the actual impact is on the side, around about the A pillar. Sorry, the B pillar in the middle of the car, rather than actually side by side, having wheels side by side. So while Ivan's front wheel was in front of Zanardi's rear wheel, it wasn't level with Zanardi's front wheel.
So that's the result at the moment then, and we'll be back with more in just a second. Stay with us. Rob Huff enjoying this moment. There's Stefano D'Asti offering his congratulations. And on the left of the shot there, Eric Neve, the head of Chevrolet Motorsport Europe. Very successful afternoon for them, David Leslie, and particularly hard graft from Rob. 24th on the grid after being fourth fastest. He must have felt like, well, going home, and just as well he stayed around, really.
It is, yeah. He didn't have a very good, we had a very good practice, but other things conspired to go against him, to put him right at the back of the grid. And he heard when he jumped up on that podium, what a big cheer went up. I think not only from the Chevrolet boys, but from everybody else in the pit lane. It's great to see the Chevrolet boys up there, and Andy Priaulx very happy indeed with his point score for the weekend. And Muller also, I suppose, just very happy to be there.
Well, it's been a Sunday of firsts for British viewers here on British Eurosport and Eurosport. Chris Walker, the Stalker, taking his first ever World Superbike victory and a first ever World Touring Car win as well for Brit Rob Huff here. Both seen live this afternoon on Eurosport. Well, don't forget, you can catch up with all the incidents and accidents, behind-the-scenes stories in the World Touring Car magazine. That's on Monday evening on Eurosport 2. And for those of you who don't have Eurosport 2, it'll be on Tuesday on Eurosport. Ivan Muller third, second place for Andy Priaulx, and Rob Huff. Wait for the big cheer from the crowd here, from all the mechanics. It is so important for the other manufacturers to have as many strong manufacturers to race against as possible, and Chevrolet really are getting right to the front of the field now. Their second win in the series, our 9th different winner in 14 races. And only 2 drivers now have repeat victories, Jörg Muller and Andy Priaulx.
I'm looking forward to probably racing against Rob next weekend. There's a 24-hour race in Britain at Silverstone. and last time I spoke to Rob, he said he was desperately trying to get into a car to go and race there, so hopefully we'll see him there as well.
Well, obviously now, like all Oscar winners, everybody will think that his price has gone up and he's no longer available, so there's, if you've got a TBA still in your entry list for the 24 hours at Silverstone next weekend, get on the phone either to David Leslie, the BRDC, or Rob Huff, and see if you can't entice him in. Eric Neb looking very happy and considerably dry, I think, when he was on the podium at Brands Hatch in the soaking conditions. Stefano D'Aste takes the Yokohama Advan Independence Trophy win, his first such of the season, so that's a big boost for him as well. Well done indeed to himself and the team from Zero Sync Motorsport, or I guess Zero Cinque, being Italian. Well done indeed. I beg your pardon, it's not Zero Cinque, of course, it's the Pro Team BMWs. And so that is just about it from Brno. Time for the drivers to get busy with the fizzy, and time for us to take our leave. David Leslie, next time out, the penalty ballast will be just as important as they go to Turkey, but it's a whole different ball game. We'll see you from Istanbul, September 23rd and 24th. Till then, from David and me, Martin Haven, bye for now.